Is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. I gotta tell you, we've had quite the day. We've had quite the week here on Positive Talk, and we're continuing in that vein now. And Brichelle, I would love for you to not massacre this fine man's name like I would. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, my dear.
Yes, today we have the one and the one standing only Jaze Bordeaux here with us. This man is amazing. I was just telling him before he came on that he has this inspiring and enlightening energy, but is also so calm and so peaceful. I used to not be a fan of that. But now that I have that within me, I am a huge fan. So he has two websites. One's at jazebordeaux.com and another with his motion picture, universepictures.ca. And Jaze, I'm more than honored to have you here as always. I love how on your website you see a picture of you, you see your name, and then it says life has a melody, a rhythm of notes which become our existence once played in harmony with the universe's grand plan. So that's exactly why we have you here, and I'm thankful the universe brought you into our awareness. Thank you for being here. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I've been excited to come on with you guys ever since we started these discussions. I think however long ago that was, right? With wow, I can't even think right now. how
I
long
don't know
ago that
either.
was. It was a little while ago.
And but before we begin, I do have to say that you're going to have to let me have Brichelle do these shows. But if you want her to be on in any of your productions, then we'll have to talk about that. I'll act as her agent, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard some things. I guess we're gonna talk today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
thanks, Kevin.
And yeah, I'm going to make you a star, young lady. I'll be like Colonel Tom Parker and you're Elvis. How about that?
I love that idea and I love Elvis, so I'm all for it. And today I love that we get to share Jays, because you've gone through so much and you've learned so much, and that's kind of what I realized since I woke up is learning, right? If you don't learn and you don't have knowledge, then really you don't know any better. But the more that you learn, the more maybe you realize you don't. Have you had that same experience in what you've done?
I definitely understand what you're saying, and a lot of times I'll say it differently. It's sometimes the pursuit is more about wisdom. It's easy to learn stuff, especially in the times we're living in right now. It's
Mhm.
almost like you can plug in and figure out all kinds of things, but the wisdom to use it, right? Like
Right.
I can go learn how to build a building on YouTube or read some books, but the question sometimes I ask is the wisdom there to do it, you know? And
Mhm.
so a lot of times I feel like the pursuit is more for wisdom, as opposed to maybe just knowledge and information, right? How do you use the information? How do you use the knowledge? I feel like where the biggest value is. So in all things, I always ask myself, and I always try to tell myself, in all things, pursue wisdom. What's the wisest path? What's the wisdom in this?
Yeah.
Again, we're in an age where assimilating information it's amazing compared to what it
Yeah.
was 20, 30 years ago. Like we can assimilate so much like information, and we do on a day-to-day basis. And when I think about it, 20 years ago, what we were assimilating for information versus how much we're doing now, it's mind-boggling. But in all of it, I always go back to myself and I'll say, well, where's the wisdom in it? Pursue the wisdom, right? Just my little
I love
personal
that.
kind of motto.
Yeah.
I pursue the wisdom. There's another bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm already typing it.
And I gotta ask you, because you are a filmmaker, you are a director, and you've done some, and you're award winning. Um, if somebody would have come to you, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, and said, here's a story that I want you to do, and then they talked about all the things that are going on in our world today, would you have said that's a great story, or no, that's not going to happen, that's just out of that it can't possibly happen and nobody's going to believe it?
Well, it's funny you say that, Kevin, because it's not that someone approached me, but there was a screenplay that I wrote between 2010 and 2012, and it's still here. It's just I realized when it was finished, it wasn't time for it, because it was all about this world that we had evolved into, where all of a sudden the currency had become more digital. Essentially, what we see right now with cryptocurrency, right? And it was all
Mhm.
about how we got to that point and what happens when we reached its peak. Was it planned? Was it organized? As the years went by, I'm literally watching that story that was written play out in real time in the world, not just with the characters. They're very public figures I see now, and I look back at the script and I keep smiling, because I'm like, okay, I didn't have the name for certain terms, but clearly this is exactly kind of what was written. I always thought it wasn't ready back then, and I still don't think it's ready. That's why we won't even be looking at it till 2030. But it's funny you say that, because somebody didn't have to come to me. I literally saw myself writing it, not knowing that these events would transpire the way they did in the world, and the direction we went into with cryptocurrency, and all of these kinds of things that are playing out right now around that, right?
Well, it's amazing, because not only are you a producer and you're a screenwriter and you're a director, you also could be nice Nostradamus, because you're a fortune teller, because you knew what was going to happen before it happened.
Sometimes, or maybe just tapping into something in the universe, and it's just a matter of bringing it into the world, right? But
Yeah.
I will say this then, if that was right, the ending is going to be really interesting.
Oh gosh.
So now you'll have to wait till probably 2035 to watch this film to see how it all ends.
Yeah. Uh, all I can say is I hope it ends okay. But from my perspective, I think that the pendulum of life, it swings back and forth with the way the world works and stuff. And right now, the pendulum is swung way over to this side, and it's got to at one point come back. And the No Kings rally and all the other stuff that's going on. I'm real excited about that. And you're in Canada, or you're from Canada, and we love the Canadian people. You guys are so cool. I don't know why that some of us are not being kind and taking care of each other, because we're brothers and sisters. It just drives me crazy.
Canadians love Americans. Love having Americans come here. Canadians love going over there. I don't. We're all interconnected. We have families over there. You have families over here. I think at the human level, I don't see any issues. I mean, there's like a border there, but it's a little comical. I know that's for other reasons, but essentially we're the same, right? Like, I mean, whatever's going on, I think on an interpersonal level doesn't affect anybody, in terms of our point of view on Americans, and hopefully vice versa. I don't know, but I do know what I hear from people I talk to over there, and I think outside of the macro level of things, the world stage, everybody's just fine. you know, if you take the theatrical stuff away from the equation, everybody is still fine, right?
I believe that to be the case, sir.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask you about you mentioned a Disney project. What is that?
No Disney project on my side. I was
Well, hold on.
wondering if
Was it?
Rochelle had one.
Oh,
Yeah.
not yet. But if you need somebody that dances and sings, and I'm your man. No, wait, that's not me. Um,
Kevin, it sounds
but
like you're
she's
signing me up for something that my intuition will have me see ahead of time. And Jays, I have to ask you this before I forget because it's gonna leave my mind. And both you and Kevin just touched on it, but doesn't having like a quite not just knowledge. I love that you said that because you can learn something, but how the hell are you supposed to use it? Like, well, okay, you could put that in so many perspectives and use it in so many ways, but is your intuition tied and guided by the wisdom that you absorb?
That's a great question. I feel like it's connected, and sometimes it's a lot easier to trust that
Mm,
internal voice when you've got the wisdom to kind of guide you, right?
right.
Sometimes the internal voice is a little scary, just because of a lot of various outcomes. But yeah, the wisdom when it's there, and I feel like it's guiding, it makes it a lot easier to
Mhm,
kind of have that trust and that faith, right?
mhm. Yeah, 100%. Kevin, please tell me you've experienced that because you're the one who taught me this whole how this all works.
experience in what wisdom? I I would like I'd like I depend upon other people to give me wisdom, and people like Jazz that are just remarkable. Did you think when you were younger and none of this had happened for you yet, and you were just thinking about it, if you look at it back now, do you recognize how far you've come? And is it all happenstance, or did you plan this out? And so this is just kind of, yeah, well, this is what I was going to do.
I don't think going back to when I was young, it was planned out. Although when I was young, I did kind of always had a core belief or intuition, or it was just something always in me where I knew I would always be betting on myself. And I feel like since I've been young, I have always continually been doing that. The path or the way may not have been like clear. Obviously, there's various ways to get to doing very different things. Uh, but I can say this, I think I've always known too, or maybe it's just something built in me, or whatever you want to call it, that I would always be betting on myself, and I have done that continually throughout my entire experience walking on the planet. As far as what we're doing in film, there has been a plan in place for a long time, but again, was it a crystal clear plan? Not particularly. Did we kind of we had a guideline of what we were going to do and steps we were going to take, and ultimately where we're trying to get to, but a lot of it, going back to what we were talking about before, it comes with some wisdom, right? Which usually means you accumulate some knowledge through a lot of mistakes and a lot of other methods to have the wisdom to keep doing other things. But I will say this, there's something I have been doing for the past few years, and it's been very interesting because sometimes, when you have that inspired thought, that it's this thing that comes to you like, I need to do this,
Mhm,
and all of a sudden you're looking forward and there's not a clear path to it, or it's the mountains are so high, it looks, you could almost get depressed by it. And I have this question that pops up on my reminder, and I'm sure I set a time for it, but it's strange because it appears at various moments, random, There's no set time for it, and it somehow just shows up maybe when I'm needing to make a decision. But I asked this question, and it says, what would you do right now if you knew the totality of the universe was right behind you? And sometimes there's decisions you have to make. You know it, but there's that hesitation. So when I put it in that perspective, sometimes if if the full force of everything was behind you, what would you do right now? It's
Hmm.
it's almost like it's almost like sweeping me into motion, right? And and a lot of times that just appears in front of me at maybe that precise time where I need to ask that question. Um, and because I'm not sure how I actually programmed it to appear so randomly like that, right?
I'm sorry, Jaze, but you didn't program it. That was done for you by the universe. It's like when I listen to music and the same dang song that is answering the question that I was asking in my head, it just randomly pops up on the radio or wherever it is. That's how it works. And that's your validation that you're on the right path. And by the way, I want to say this before we take our break. If you in order to be as successful as you can be, you need to bet on yourself. If you don't bet on yourself, bet on Red 32. I'll explain that when we come back from. I'll explain that.
Don't drink the night before.
And we will be right back after this quick commercial. It's just a minute and 2 seconds, so stay with us. Here's another point to ponder from Positive Talk Radio. What is the easiest thing to justify? It is a small transgression. The one no one will ever see, no one will ever know. The tiny exaggeration on the expense report. The extra minute you took on your lunch break. The packaging you tossed in the wrong recycle bin because it was closer. In those moments, the question isn't, will I get caught? The question is, will I know? It isn't about avoiding punishment. It's a silent agreement you make with yourself when you choose to do the right thing. To return the wallet. To fix the mistake. To respect the empty space. You aren't impressing the world. You're earning your own respect. That small choice, made entirely in private, is how you build a life you never have to look away from. The only audience that matters is you. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin McDonald. Rochelle is right there. And I got to tell you, Jay's, say his full name and his websites and everything, Rochelle, before I tell the story of the Red 32.
We could skip over that if you want, but I'll let you. We have Jaze Bordeaux here with us, and his websites, both jazebourdeaux.com, and also if you want to get a little bit curious on, by the way, I have to tell you, this universepictures.ca is magical. I remember learning so much about building websites, and people are just doing the most creative things with them. So thank you for being here with us, Jaze. And Kevin, if you don't have a question, I do, before you tell your story.
Okay, go ask your question before you forget it, and then I'll tell the story.
Okay, so Jaze, I'm just wondering I want us to finish off this topic because there's so much to talk about with you. But being open to learning, knowing that it's going to bring you that wisdom, like that shift, because a lot of people say, oh, the more I learn, the more I fail. But the more you learn and the more you fail, the more wisdom you create. Has that helped you like a ton in just being willing to learn and to, I wouldn't even call it failing. That's also learning and creating the right path for yourself. Did you experience that? Like, where did you learn this from? And why has no one said this?
Yeah,
Brilliant.
you're absolutely right. And it's funny because I was having a conversation, I think, it's very recently, maybe a few days ago, with someone, and we were talking about the last film we released last year, I guess, EFC.
Mhm.
And someone asked me a question similar to that, and I said, well, it's interesting because you can see, for example, the success of that film, but did you know I had 3 other features right before that that never made it to the light of day? However, that particular production was so crazy in the sense of the challenges that we had for it, that
Mhm.
the other 3 productions that didn't make it actually set me up perfectly to be able to handle the challenges we had with this production. So I'll give you a perfect example. We lost like a third of the film. So obviously, just because people got sick and different things. So how do you pivot in real
Yeah.
time on the spot, right? And we were challenged with crazy weather in Canada. And I'm sure if you talk to other Canadian filmmakers who tell you they've shot here, they've probably, especially in the winter, they're going to say that they were challenged with weather, and so were we. And we had to pivot in real time for so many things that were coming at us.
Mhm.
And I remember someone at the end of the production saying, "Wow, I've never seen somebody so calm under pressure." And again, what they maybe haven't seen is that there were other productions that didn't make it for whatever those reasons were. Uh,
Mhm.
but because I knew what not to do, I also knew what to do, and how to,
Yes.
and wisdom, allows me to apply those things. So yeah, you're right. There is, I don't like that word failure, right? They're just
Right.
experiences that you can draw from. And going back to our theme, I guess for today, just and allowing wisdom to just guide you from what you know to do and from what you know not to do, right? And so those experiences, when you look back, I know they're hard in the moment. They really are, because you're going through it, and you
Mm.
gotta like keep moving forward, keep your head up, keep finding the inspiration, keep finding everything you need to keep moving forward. So it's hard in the moment, but 2020, or what do they say?
Hindsight is
Hindsight is
2020.
2020 vision. Oh yeah, that's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yep.
When you get to that
Yeah.
point and you can look back and say, "Wow, okay, you know what? That was I'm really happy we had that experience, because maybe if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't understand how to do this right now, right?"
Yeah.
Oh, that
Wouldn't.
that is so true. And when you get to be a little older, and you're not there yet, but I am, and you look at the totality of your life and everything that's happened to you, and in the moment, it's like, oh man, this is a bad country music song. I hate it. And but then you look at it in its totality, and you look at the results of that as you move forward from it, and you see a remarkable consistency of learning, and the journey that you're on, and becoming who you were destined to be. And it takes time to do that. So and you figure that out way too early. That's not fair.
I might have a few years, that you don't know about, but getting close to the halfway century mark, But
That means you're not even halfway done yet, dude.
exactly what I said. I'm only one third of the way there. I keep saying that all the time. It's not even close yet. But I am looking very forward to, and I don't know. I guess this will be in the afterlife, maybe, because our planet. And I always like to say there's over 8 billion of us that we can count, and we each have our own very unique story. But there's only one story, really, at the end of the day, and that's the humanity story. So how it plays out and how it looks from like a bigger point of view, where you can look down and see the entirety of humanity and how that whole story is playing out, I feel like is one story I do want to see. And at some point, I think maybe I can't see it from this perspective that we're sitting in right now, but I am trying to envision it. And so one day in the deep future, I hope that's going to be one of the stories I can tell as well, right?
Well, and as long as when you continue to put it out there, now this is just my personal opinion. Don't let anybody get offended, but the universe respects that and honors that when you put it out there, and then they go about making it happen. And they set it up so that, okay, this is I feel like they're on the other side going, okay, he said yes. So now this is what we got to do. Okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to have him do this, and then he's going to go here, and then he's going to make these decisions, and then he gets to decide what he's going to do here. And if he stays true to his mission, this is all going to come to play, and it's all going to work out. And if he doesn't, well, I guess there's always next time.
That's for him.
Yeah. Yeah, or somebody else to carry it forward, right?
Yeah, well, exactly, because I don't know, I'm a little longer in the tooth, but I have a young friend. She's just 26 years of age, but she's developing an incredible wisdom about herself. And when I can no longer hold my head up and do the do the anymore, then I'm going to pass the baton to her because she's going to be extraordinary. And I hope that everybody has somebody in their life that they can do that with and stuff. So it's wonderful. But I got to tell you, the movie that is just out, or was it just released? And what's the 3-letter title again?
That was EFC, the one I just brought up. It's women's based mixed martial arts sports drama film. Although it's not so much of a fight movie or a sports drama film, even though it is. It's really a lot about what we're talking about, right? It's having a dream and what it takes to actually see things through to achieve that dream, right? So it's more like that, even though you have all the other elements in it, but that's the core theme of that film.
Well, and it when did it come out?
In the US, EFC was released in the fall of 2024, so it's right at the year mark. It has been released in other territories since then, or very recently, like in Spain. It's also obviously in Canada, Mexico. It's in other territories I can't probably think of right now, and it's still being released or distributed worldwide. So I think probably by the end of next year, it'll be everywhere around the world.
If I want to see it, how do I find it?
If you're in the US, it's streaming across all digital platforms. So just go pick your favorite platform and you'll find it somewhere. It's everywhere, even if it's not there. I think even satellite or Roku, whatever it is, Apple Prime, it's everywhere. So if you just Google EFC, you'll find it. If you're anywhere outside the US, I'd say just Google it. I know in Spain it's on Prime, and Canada as well. It's also on all the digital platforms. So yeah, just Google. If you just Google EFC, it'll pop up. You'll see right away where to watch it, and off and away we go. That's the great thing about 2025, huh? So,
Yeah. Well, are we allowed to know what EFC stands for?
yes. So initially, EFC stands for Excelsius Fighting Championship. So it kind of mirrors in the mixed martial arts world. You'll hear like UFC and all these various organizations that have adopted the model of those 3-letter initials. So it is themed or designed just for the audience to know right away, oh, okay, there's mixed martial arts in here. However, the original title, which if I think back, I don't really know where it came from. When we first started putting it together, we called it Excelsius. And at the time, the association I had with that word when I was thinking about it was just connecting to your higher self, right? Kind of being guided by your higher self. I'm not sure if that's the actual meaning for it or not, but essentially that's what it was, and it got shortened, so it was very easy to distribute and market to the general audience as EFC, Excelsius Fighting Championship. So that's where the title comes from, right?
Beautiful.
Very good. Well, Michelle, I have to watch that movie tonight.
I already looked it up on Google. I'll send it to you. And it's beautiful. And I know we need to take a break, but I want to talk about that too, Jaze, because how you've talked about what you went through and the process that you've took and your perspective on things and being somebody to produce this movie, it's got to tie in somewhere. So I'd love to learn more about how that opportunity came to you and what it's provided for you and also made you maybe see in yourself and for other people. So Kevin, I'll let you take us to break. And then when we come back, we've got way too much to talk about, so we better hurry.
Yeah, we've got way too much. So I'm going to tell the Red 32 story on another episode. So,
Aw.
well, I'll just make.
Tell it when we come back. I'll let you, just because I love Jace so much, and also, there's some learning opportunity in that story, but we can do that when we come back, I guess.
Okay, we'll be we'll be right back in a minute and 10 seconds. Don't anybody go anywhere.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
Are you looking for your daily dose of inspiration? Stay connected to all your favorite shows, music, and news with the Brushwood Media Network app. From Positive Talk Radio to Greatest Vibes Unplugged and so many more uplifting voices around the world, everything you need is right in one place. It's easy to use, too. Always available and designed to keep you inspired 24 hours a day. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com and download the app, and you will always have Brushwood Media available on your smartphone. Download it now and make inspiration and music and conversation part of your everyday. And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald and Rochelle. She's right there. And Jaze Bordeaux. Did I say that correctly, young man?
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah.
Oh,
Nailed
awesome. I got it. We were talking about, and this is, I'll just do this real quick, but we were talking about you got to bet on yourself, because if you don't bet on yourself, nobody's going to bet on you if you don't believe in yourself. And so you got to love yourself, care for yourself, and know that. Well, Rochelle was going to Denver and she was going to spend the night in a casino, not in the casino, in the hotel, and there was a casino down below. And I said, okay, when you go there and you go to the casino, go to the roulette table and put money on Red 32. And then, so apparently, so then the next time I talked to her, it was after this, and she said, I said, did you put money on Red 32? And Rochelle, tell him what you told me.
Okay, so Jaze, I have to tell you first, this was a learning curve for me, because I had stood there for so long, and it's $25 on roulette table, and every draw is different, and I finally walked up to the table, feeling super confident, but I had this itch that something wasn't right, and my intuition was telling me, call Kevin, call Kevin, call Kevin. It was like screaming at me, Kevin, 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 and I was like, nah. I don't need to do that. It's fine. My intuition isn't blocked. I've got this under control. I put it down on Red 34. You know what it landed on? For $900. Red 32. I told Kevin I'm never playing that again. And you knew what was going to happen. Somehow I'm thinking you created this possibility to teach me something. But it's those moments, like, I've never thought about it the way that I have, from taking the knowledge of you and relating it to that experience of not listening to yourself. Like, yourself will tell you all these things, and sometimes we're so easy to misdiagnose what is really happening. And if you've got that gut feeling that's telling you to do something, you should probably do it. It might win you $900. But I'm guessing you've experienced those moments too, right? I can't be the only one where it was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I just stop and be there? But the learning of that brought you somewhere that wasn't possible if you hadn't had that experience.
Yeah, believing that little quiet voice inside of you, there's no amount of money you can kind of pay for that, right? And I think just the human experience, I think we've all just kind of like shut up and just bury that voice. And I know better, and but it's
Yeah.
that little quiet, very subtle voice that keeps telling you that no, um, this is the path. You got to keep doing this, and it's we can challenge it. It just creates problems for us that we're going to learn from anyways. Uh, but yeah, you're right. It's something like I said, I've had to learn to do over the course of my lifetime, and that's why I have little things to remind me continually. I'm better than I was maybe 20 years ago, but still, um, eh, it's such a quiet voice that sometimes it's very easy to not hear, right? Especially in the world we're in, it's so loud with there's just so much stuff going on all the time. Sometimes it's really easy not to hear the voice. So that's why I always have these little reminders to pop up whenever they pop up, however that got set into motion. It just kind of reminds me a little bit, just hear, listen. Um, and I feel like, yeah, I'm definitely much better off for that, and I think most people would be too, when they're listening to that little, and not just listening but believing. And I think
Yes.
based on what your story was, I'd say believing that little voice, right?
Right.
Because
Well, and I
sometimes
have to
that's
ask you,
yeah.
based off that what you just said, Jays, is I'm thinking that when you're doing these movies and you're doing these productions and you're bringing things to life, past and present or future, how do you keep yourself present? Like, is it hard not to get lost in in the production that you're doing, and how do you keep yourself grounded?
It is difficult sometimes because you're so absorbed into. I mean, I'm looking at the the next 10 years for us is busy because we've already kind of lined up 6 different productions at a much larger scale, which was always the plan. But those things don't happen overnight, right? There's a lot of stuff that leads into it, builds up to it, developing wise, every day, in and out, all day. So you're quite absorbed into it. Like our next film, I'm looking at Genesis. Those characters, I feel like I've been living with those characters for the past 6 or 7 years. Like they could almost be real people for me.
Yeah.
Um, because you're so deep or involved into that. But a lot of times I think it really helps with the people around you to sometimes pull you out. But sometimes there's a time for everything too, right? And sometimes there's a time to be absorbed into it and fully focused and to see it through. And then there's a time to not be, and to be doing other things, and having different experiences, right? For everybody, it might be a little bit different, um, you know. But for me, to take this full circle, I'll give you a perfect example. I have been very absorbed into all of the projects and stuff that the next phase of everything that we're doing, right? But I've had that little voice in me, ironically, and saying, "Hey, you're at the point now where okay, you got to focus on how things are going to look for me personally, health wise, in 100 years from now." So
Mhm.
there are very specific things in the back of my mind that I've been, or not the back of my mind, real subtle inside of me that's saying, "Hey, time to do this, time to do this." And one of those things was like doing martial arts. You know, ironically, we just finished a mixed martial arts film, and there's this little voice saying, "You got to do it, got to do it, got to do it, got to do it." Finally, I do go to do it, and I start to immediately understand why I maybe needed to do it. Right? Um, um, just physically, and based on some goals I have in terms of when I'm 90. I want to still be able to look the way I look and move around the way I move.
Yeah.
So that requires some work right now. And
Mhm.
so yeah, it was one of those things. I could maybe avoid it, or not subdue the voice.
Yep.
30 years from now, I might say, oh, I should have listened to myself, back then when I was trying to do this or that or whatever, right? But it caught me. It's like, oh, okay, all right, let me do this right now, because it could get louder. I've experienced things where the voice gets louder, and if you keep ignoring it, like, the universe does conspire against you and creates a situation that you cannot ignore the voice anymore, right?
Right.
And it becomes uncomfortable.
Well, and Jays, I would even say that it's not that the universe is conspiring against you; it's conspiring with you, and it's wanting you to listen to that voice that's there. I want to tell you a quick story. Did you ever see years ago? And this was before Rochelle's time. There was something called the Movie of the Week,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I remember.
um, there was a guy, and he was given a chance because he did some small little things, and he had the opportunity to do a movie called Duel. Did you ever watch that movie Duel?
No, I haven't seen that film. No, a TV movie of the week, you're saying?
It was a TV movie of the week, and Dennis Weaver was the star, and it was about a guy that was being chased by a semi and stuff. And it was a really really good movie, and somebody saw that movie. It was just a small production. It wasn't. Somebody saw that movie and said, I think that we need to put him into let's put him into Jaws and have him direct Jaws. That was Steven Spielberg. And so your career moves at the pace that it's supposed to, and then you reach a different level based upon the experiences that you've had, that you've put together, so that those things will happen. And that's what's going to happen for you. I just know it.
Yeah, and I think that too as well, with a lot of people I talk to who are reaching and trying to achieve something. It's just sometimes it's building the momentum, staying disciplined, taking the steps every day, doing the little things, especially when nobody's watching, right? I saw one of, I think, the ads he had out there. Your life is an accumulation of a lot of things you're doing when nobody's watching, right?
Yeah.
And you take those steps and you have that belief in and of yourself, and yeah, you do get there. um, at some point you do get there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And when the universe is lining everything up for you so that when it happens, it'll happen just excuse me, just perfectly for you. And then you know what's going to happen. You're going to look back on it and go, well, why didn't I see that coming? But it's just the way. As a matter of fact, Rochelle is she said she just messaged me because her computer froze, and she said, I could scream. My computer froze, and I'm working on getting back now. So hopefully I can just see her doing that too. I could just scream. So but I tell you, Jays, you are such a remarkable young man, and the intuition that you have and the intuition that you get, honor it. And this is for everybody. Honor the intuition, that little voice in your head that becomes a bigger voice sometimes, and not the one that says you can't, but the one that says you can. Because so many people in our lives tell us all the time, no, you can't do that. Who the heck do you think you are? You're going to be a big time movie guy? What's the matter with you? And you believed in yourself, right?
Yeah, that little voice is your future if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your future. And it's an important voice, but it's interesting how probably one of the most important voices is the most subtle and the most quiet, right? The one that's not the loudest, it's the most subtle voice, right?
Yeah, although I'm a little dense, so it gets kind of loud sometimes because, and by the way, and tell me if this has happened for you. When you get confirmations, when you're thinking and that little voice is coming to you, sometimes you need a confirmation. And that confirmation can come from a song, it can come from a billboard, it can come from something that you read or what a friend says, or all of those kind of things. Do you find that those validations come for you? Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you hold that thought? Maybe Rochelle will make it back from her screaming fit. And, but we need to do this, and we will be right back. And stay with us, everybody. This is just a minute, and we'll be right back with Jaze. For way too long, we've allowed shadows to dictate our steps. Our clamor of division, the whisper of fear, and the harsh grip of hate. They've tried to define us. But this is our moment of truth. We remember who we truly are, not just separate islands, but a vast ocean of shared humanity. We declare our independence from the narratives that have pulled us apart. We choose curiosity over judgment, empathy over indifference, understanding over accusation. This isn't about ignoring our differences. It's about celebrating the strength woven into our tapestry. It's about remembering that progress isn't built on exclusion, but on common ground. So let the banners of kindness fly high. Let the anthem of unity ring out. This is our declaration, our independence from what limits us, our freedom to truly connect. Because together we are stronger. And together, we are free. And this declaration is brought to you by Positive Talk Radio. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin McDonald. Rochelle is in the ether someplace. She'll be back.
She's back. Yeah.
She's gonna work. She'll be back. She's gonna work really hard at doing that. But Jaze, I got to tell you, I made that piece because I started a show called My Independence Report because we were declaring our independence from hate, division, and fear. And we all need to work together, I believe. And we all can work together if we recognize that we are all one. And you're putting some of those concepts into the work that you're doing, aren't you?
Very much so, because I think my worldview is that I do see us as a very connected species where everything we do and don't do has an impact on each other. I do see us as one story, and I do look at like the future in the sense of how is the story going to play out, right? And even in our next film, Genesis, which I can say that's the movie I've always wanted to do. If for whatever reason I couldn't continue after that, I feel like I would have a very a proud sense of achievement that we were able to get this particular story out there in this vein, because it's gonna challenge patterns of thought that we have right now, but also move us a little bit into what a future could look like, potentially when we're trying to rediscover where we find original thoughts again. Sometimes it feels like everything that could have been said and done has been, and so where do we go to get that truly original thought? And when you have so many ideas being thrown at you every single day from all different platforms, how do you know which one is yours? Right?
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. When does Genesis go into production?
Well, Genesis is in pre-production right now, so it will likely go into production somewhere in the range, somewhere around 2027. So it'll be out. I call it, if you've liked movies like Arrival or Inception, it's comparable to that and at that same scale.
Have you funded it yet?
It's in, that's part of the development process. It's that's being worked on. It's partially there. There's still a ways to go, but we will get there, right?
Jaze, I got to tell you, when I was doing the show in 2003 and they came to me and said, you owe us $10,000, we're going to have to pull you from the schedule. And on the last show, I said to the audience that was there, I said, if you want to donate or buy the company or whatever for $10,000, I can keep doing this. Somebody came in and did that. So therefore, if somebody wants to donate to you to help the project get moving forward and to complete it financially, how do they reach you?
It's real easy. I'm really easy to find. They can go right on my website at jazebordaux.com, and there's a contact there. Or you can find me across social media platforms like Instagram or Facebook as well. Same thing at Jaze Bordeaux. And yeah, I'm always one. Me and the rest of my team, we're collaborators, so we do like collaborating with different people, different walks of life, different parts of the world. Again, if you look at it from, we are 8 billion plus people, but it's still only one story. I don't know if we all know what that story is yet, but it is one story, right?
You're going to tell that story. It sounds fascinating.
Yeah, so we're excited about that. So very easy guy to find.
So if you want to get on the big screen and maybe have your name somewhere in there and in this fine print or someplace, and then you can say, I helped make that happen because it's a story that needs to be told. And I can't think of a better man to do it than you. So if you have a mind that you want to give somebody, if you want to help him out, Jaze Bordeaux is the gentleman that you, jazebordaux.com, and look him up and write a check. Or give him cash. I don't care what you do. But
well, we're gonna say it's the investment in the what do you call it? In stories that think that will help us move forward in terms of collapsing certain beliefs, certain mindsets that will just allow humanity to thrive. That's my vision. I feel like the next story we're going to tell is going to be one of those that'll sit in the ether for a long time and have an impact with ripple effects that I can't even really imagine, right? Like, you won't know until it's done.
Well, and will you do me a favor? When you're walking down the red carpet, will you give me a call so that I can congratulate you personally for the award that you're about to get?
How about I call you before? I might have some great cameo spots, right?
I would love a cameo spot, and if it's Genesis and you want me to be, anyway, I don't know. But I would love, and anything that you need, I'm all in, and I know Rochelle is too. She's she's now beating her head against the wall because she's not here yet, and we're running out of time. So I'm hopeful that she could always give me a call on the phone. I could put her through so that she could say goodbye. As a matter of fact, I would love to do that. So if now you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. That's old school now, right?
Yeah, she's new school, so she doesn't know that this is even available. That we can. You mean you can use the phone? I can't believe that. So let's see if.
There you go. Yeah,
it's a ringing.
You see, that's experience.
Come on, pick up the phone. Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, but the person you called is a voicemail box.
Oh, that's classic.
Well, I don't know what's happening, but I want to thank you so much for being here, and we're going to run out of time. But I want you to tell everybody how best to reach you, how best to help fund your stuff, and just to the next thing that's EFC is out now, right?
Yeah, EFC's out right now. It's you can go find EFC across social media platforms at EFC Movie. You can find it online. It should be, if it's not streaming in your territory, it will be soon. We do have another movie out in 2026. It's going to start off with a festival run called Let Go. That's a psychological romantic thriller shot across Europe. Again, you can find more information about that at Let Go Movie. But yeah, ultimately, just reach out. Like I said, I'm at Jaze Bordeaux across all platforms. And oh, we're back.
James, we just
Yeah.
talked about this whole time. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm like,
Yes.
some reasons I really don't understand. um, but I'm so thankful to have been able to join back in with you. And sorry if I cut you off with anything that you were saying beforehand. So I'll let you continue, and then I'll give you the
I
voice.
think we were just talking about where to find me in certain films and stuff like that online. And Kevin actually dialed you on the phone to try to get you on the phone, and we got voicemail, which was
Yeah, my
classic, right?
service is out, but my Wi-Fi is working, and it's connected to the same. My phone is saying AT&T Turbo. I'm like, what is that supposed to make me feel special? I don't know why technology works the way it does, but please do finish sharing all the ways that people can um, follow along with everything that you are doing and learning from
Yeah,
you. And
I think I was just mentioning about Let Go, the film we have coming out in 2026, and
perfect.
they can
Yep.
follow that at Let Go Movie. Everything else you'll find if you just follow me. I'm out there, and I'm active on social media and stuff like that. So yeah, real easy. But real quick, I think we got like a minute or so. You just reminded me about technology and just some of these discussions. I live in an Apple ecosystem, so I've been the Mac computers are great, and I've been using them for 20 years. And I think somewhere around 2010 or 2011, I'd gotten a new iMac,
Mhm.
and it literally has like it was like alive because I could take it to certain places and it would work perfectly. And if I moved it, I think we had an office and it refused to work. I take it out of the office, I bring it home, it works, no problem. I bring it somewhere else. It's like it had a mind of its own, and that was 2010, 2011. So yeah, technology is interesting. Let's see.
It makes me
Well,
want to
and
snap things, Jays.
Yeah.
And I heard all because I could still hear you guys, see you. You couldn't hear me. You couldn't see me. I was no longer in the studio, and I heard him say, "I could picture her doing that." I won't give you the example, but Kevin's not wrong. And that's probably one thing you have to deal with a lot is technology and patience. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about that. Kevin, have you already told him we want him to come back?
continually, I want when any any movie that you have that's coming out, we want you to come back here so that and even if you need, like I don't know, funding,
Yeah.
anybody help. We need funding and and stuff and Jay's I got it. And by the way, the Brushwood Media Network is Apple's #1 digital syndicated worldwide network. So thank you for using their products. And so
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay, that's new information. Okay, I had
and
no
so,
clue. Yeah.
Mr. Apple, if wherever you are, if you can
Yeah.
utilize this and write a check,
Yeah.
okay? Write a check to Jays because he endorsed your product right here on the air. So thank you.
Yeah. When you talk about technology, I will always endorse the Apple products. It's a time saver. It's one of the reasons why we like it because we're not bogged down with having to fix things. So yes, if you talk to Mr. Cook, Kevin, you can mention that to him.
Well, I got a guy who runs the Brushwood Media Network, and he knows Mr. Cook, and they talk on a regular basis. So I will text him and tell him that we've done a fine commercial for Apple with a filmmaker who knows what he's talking about and is really gifted at what he does. And so tell Mr. Cook that to get his checkbook out because it's so there.
And include the part where I'm mentioning snapping other products that aren't that.
That aren't Apple.
That
Yeah.
could probably bring a lot of media. But Jaze, we have like 30 more seconds. I wanted to ask you this just to leave our listeners on this Friday with a beautiful message of something that comes purely from your heart. Because I believe that anything you say could change somebody's entire life in the last 20 seconds. So good luck.
So, you know, considering our conversation today, I'll just wrap it up with this.
Okay.
Believe in that quiet voice inside of you, because that voice is probably your future.
Well, hot damn. Get ready to listen, people.
Oh, that
I'm
was
on
that
fire.
was
Can you
brilliant.
tell I'm sweating?
That's because when her computer went down, she was dancing around the room screaming at and people were, "What's the matter, dear? What's the matter, dear?" and all that kind of. So I could just picture her doing that. So, Jaze Bordeaux, go to jazebordeaux.com and write a check, Mr. Cook. Thank you.
Amen.
Have a great day, everybody, and have a great weekend. And thank you so much, Jaze, for being here.
Thanks, Jaze.
Okay.
We love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got.